Ready?
Ready.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest episode of Snitchin'. It's your host, Kristen.
And Brittany, get ready for the best part of your day.
And we are so excited to have our friend Laura on. Laura is a registered mental health therapist, and she is here to talk to us about all things mental health. She works a lot with couples. So we're going to hear about her experience with that, things that people are fighting about, tips for just, improving your overall well-being, things that you can do if you notice someone struggling. It's going to be a great episode. Laura, how are you feeling about coming on the pod?
I'm so excited. I've obviously been a snitch since the jump, so I'm really
OG.
excited to be here. It feels
Yay.
surreal. It's like my favorite podcast, so I'm happy to be.
Yay. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
Shouldn't have told us that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Straight to the head.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So Laura is also a huge Taylor fan, big Swiftie, just like us. And I was just telling these guys that I literally just saw an article. I mean, it seems like the rumors of them getting married in Rhode Island are true.
Did it say when?
No. It just said that it's going to be small, like they think it's going to be private, not have a ton of celebrities and random people, is what it said.
I feel like we need to
Um,
be keeping our pulse on the Ocean House reservations because maybe you could get like a little bird's eye view
oh,
from the hotel.
wait. Yeah, because
Wait.
you've been there, right? I've never been to Watch Hill.
Britt, the room that we had, the window was directly like all we could see was her house. Like it
My
was,
God.
she
You're
wasn't
like, I'm
there.
not leaving.
I know. She was in Kansas City for that weekend, but it was so cool. And you can walk right up to the gate. You can feel like you're her friend and walk up to
Oh
her
my
house.
God.
Like, oh, I'm just dropping off, my sourdough starter for Taylor.
We're basically invited to the wedding.
Exactly.
I wonder
Yeah.
like how that works, if they would have to like keep that under wraps, like the hotel, or if,
Mhm.
I don't
Or
know, the
didn't
Swifties will figure it
Selena?
out.
I saw an article that Selena just rented out the entire hotel for her wedding for like family and
Mm,
friends. So I wonder if they'll do
I
that too.
bet she'd do that. Yeah. Yeah. But
I
it's
mean,
also said that like every major designer is offering to design her wedding dress. She's probably gonna have multiple outfits.
I saw rumors, obviously, that Travis, like pregame, he's been in suits the past couple of times he's been seen. So the rumor, the chat was that he's trying out designers like to see who in
Oh,
his, he's like wearing suits to games to see what designer maybe gets him the most comments.
wow. I think I would literally cut off my arm to go to that wedding.
I know. I saw another thing that it was a would you rather kind of thing, and it was like for would you rather $1 million, an invitation to Taylor's wedding, or something else? And I was like, I don't even need to read the rest. Wedding
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
The first one. I wonder who her maid of honor is going to be. Like, imagine the pressure to do that speech.
I really think it's her mom.
Oh, that'd be so
Yeah, I could
nice.
see that.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I feel like that really is like her number one girl. Like, I feel like Serlina or Abigail would be the contenders for her friends.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
I feel like that girl Ashley is kind of a sleeper too, though.
She's everywhere.
Is that the one? Oh no, the one Taylor was her maid of honor. Her name was Brittany, I think.
Yeah, Brittany's like her childhood friend. Ashley is like a marketing professional.
She's been
Oh,
at the games. She has like a short, straight blonde bob.
Yeah.
I want to be Ashley. Why can't I be Ashley?
No, Ashley is kind of like has it made. Like she's in Taylor's orbit. She's always like in the celebrity's orbit, but she's not really famous herself, which is kind of ideal.
I follow her on
Totally.
Instagram, and after the New Heights podcast, she posted like a bread bag, and it obviously was from Taylor, had all of her handwriting and cat stickers, and it was like her best loaf yet. Like she got a loaf.
That's how you know you're like in the orbit is if you get a loaf.
Well, when we watched the pod and she was like, "Yeah, I'm like sending them to my friends," I was like, "How do I get on that list?"
No facts. Like,
You think you're friends
I'd
with
die
Taylor?
for you,
I got
Taylor.
a
Send
loaf.
me some sour bread.
Taylor, I would legit take a bullet for you.
Send me
That's
some fucking
legit.
sour bread dough.
I know those are going to be on eBay someday, like moldy 100-year-old Taylor Swift loaves.
You're a pretty good sourdough maker, though. I saw your Instagram. I was
I
like,
am loving
whoa,
that journey.
impressive.
I am. Yeah, we got one in the fridge, cold proofing right now. Happy to share starter if you are interested in joining along.
What would you say for like a new sourdough person? What's like your number one tip?
Number one tip. Maybe so that you don't drive yourself like up the wall. It's not, I always remind myself like cave people started this. So it doesn't have to be like when I set the timer for 30 minutes
Yeah.
for the stretch and folds, if it's like 29 minutes and 30 seconds, I feel like I have to wait the 30 seconds. But like people did this literally in caves and
Yeah.
like we can,
That's my rule of thumb with parenting too. I'm
yes,
like, people did this 200 years ago. I'm sure it's fine.
I love that. Yeah, kids are like sourdough bread.
I know nothing about making sourdough, so,
It's a lot
but
of fun. It is very time consuming. The process like to make one loaf of bread can take like up to 3 days, depending on how sour you want it.
wow.
But there's obviously like quick shortcut recipes, but a real solid loaf takes like 2 to 3 days.
I am not gonna lie though, I feel like the like variations that Taylor was mentioning on the podcast didn't sound that good.
I
Like, would
know.
those be good? Like
Yeah,
funfetti?
I did try funfetti after the podcast, obviously,
Obviously.
and I used the wrong sprinkles, I think, because the sprinkles all bled, and I
Oh,
literally got blue bread. Like
mm.
No.
it was not cute.
Kids probably loved it
Tasted
though.
good. Yeah, it was good. I did funfetti white chocolate chip. So it tasted really
Mm.
good, but I was totally thrown by the blue bread.
I wonder if she's going to make like sourdough for her wedding.
Little loaves as favor. Oh yeah, what are
That
her
would be so
favors?
cute.
I
Yeah, with
agree.
like a handwritten note or something.
Facts.
Yes.
All right, but anyway, should we get into talking about the mental health
Yes,
stuff?
please.
We're so excited. This is something that I feel like Chris and I are super passionate about, and it's something we want to bring on the pod, and we're excited to have an expert because we are not experts.
I'm happy to be
So
here.
yeah, let's get into it. So like Krista mentioned, I know like couples therapy is a big
Mhm.
focus for you. So like I would just love to hear about like what are like some of the things you see when working with couples? Like what are people fighting about? And like what's the advice you give?
I love couples counseling. I really do. I'll say generally, more often than not, if I get an inquiry for couples counseling, it is, I don't have the true stats, but I'm going to say 99.99999% communication people cite in their
Mm,
inquiry. Like, we're having trouble with communication. We'd like to work on communication. It's like such a buzzword. And I
yeah.
love doing like consultations before bringing people in to say, like, what is communication to you? Are you having trouble? Verbal communication? Is physical communication an issue? Like, what does communication even mean? To them, it
Mm,
makes sense, but it's different for everybody else. So I wouldn't even say like fighting, but it's more of like that is what I see as fractures in people's excuse me, relationship. They come in wanting to work on communication, and it's always like more than that.
Mm.
yeah.
It's like
That's like
such
the
an
blanket statement.
iceberg word. Like you
Yeah.
want communication, and then after a couple sessions, you're like, oh, we're just really not hearing each other. Like it's not that we can't communicate, we can speak. It's that we're not hearing and listening, or
Oh,
sharing
okay.
what we mean. It's really fascinating.
Interesting. Or
Mm.
could it be like the way that like people deliver it, like your tone and stuff like that?
Everything. Everything. It's like so many people, like humans, not just people in therapy, humans often, maybe you can relate. I know I can. People, they are waiting to say their piece. They're not
Yeah.
listening to what someone's saying. They're just waiting for
I
the
see
other
that.
person to finish so they
Mm-hmm.
can share. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
you didn't even clock anything that that person was just saying. You
Yeah.
just were waiting to speak.
Honestly, that is like so facts. I do that too.
If you are doing that constantly in your like primary relationship, it's going to eventually become obvious.
Yeah.
I think that's a really powerful thing that people aren't even aware of. Just the need to be right. I feel like it's so universal. And it really is why people, listen just to respond, but not to like understand. That's a great point.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like, do
Yeah.
you want the win or do you want the relationship to win in a specific argument? Like, are we against each other or are we coming out of this with a solution that works for both of us? So, long answer to your question is that, but short answer is definitely people come in wanting to work on communication.
That just begs the question, is there like a topic that you find that comes up more for? We were just talking on the pod about how, like finances is something that is a really common reason why people break up. So is there any common topics that you find people are having a hard time communicating about?
Like parenting.
Yep. Yep. I ask that too. Like, are you seeing struggles with communication in a pattern, or is it just all over the place? And oftentimes it's like specific topics, finances, sex. Other times it's like we just can't land on anything. Like we are
Mm.
Mhm.
speaking two different languages and we don't understand what each other are saying.
Are there like any qualities of like successful couples that you see, or like anything, I don't know, good advice for couples?
Yeah, yeah. I pulled it up, and I recommend your listeners to do like a little Google search. This kind of couple's daddy, his name is John Gottman. He founded, I don't know, created this theory, I guess, called the Four Horsemen. What I love about the Four Horsemen is they come with antidotes. So the four horsemen are behaviors that can damage a relationship. And he found that these four are the most kind of prominent. So, for example, I have it pulled up here to save your listeners a Google, but criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and stonewalling. And those are tendencies that people can, in couples, fall back on. Things like blaming other people or showing hostility or disgust towards your significant other, deflecting responsibility. But why I like that is they have antidotes. So if you are somebody who falls on defensiveness, it
Hmm.
has almost like a mental medication of the antidote to that is taking responsibility. So if you're somebody who falls on defensive tendencies, how you can mitigate that is to own up to your behavior without blaming others. Like each of his four horsemen has something to go against it.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
it's really cool. If you identify with one of the four horsemen, your personal work is to do the antidote in your relationship to mitigate or to lessen, the damage that's done by those. And they're there because they're common. People do them. So I feel like people who do their own work and bring that to the relationship are more likely to be understanding and compassionate and want the relationship to succeed.
Yeah.
I feel like I talk a lot in counseling about it's hard, like you are two people with two separate upbringings, two separate worldviews, two separate everything until you then share a space and become one.
Yeah.
So you having compassion and understanding for why your person is the way they are and how they can best function and you can best function in one dynamic. It's it's overwhelming. So to be able to learn patterns, learn behaviors, and ways to work as one serves people best, I feel.
What's stonewalling?
Stonewalling
I'm a
is,
stonewaller. I looked it
yeah.
up. I'm a stonewaller.
Stonewalling is like cold turkey cut you off.
Silent treatment.
Yes, a sign.
Like withdraws. Just don't
Yo.
talk to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm a stonewaller 1000.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like
I crush the silent
understandable.
treatment.
I love a cold shoulder.
Yes. Sometimes I feel like the cold shoulder or the stonewalling, it can come out of like being completely overwhelmed and not knowing even where to start. So you're like,
That's me.
yeah, I'm just gonna throw my hands
Yeah.
up and like back off completely because this is too much for me to even like begin with. Like never go to bed angry. Girl, I'll go to bed angry first 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah. 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 I've gone to bed angry. For sure.
But it's cool
Well,
because if you look it up, there's ways, and some of them, they're a little general. Like if you're feeling like stonewalling and you read the antidote is to use relaxation techniques, you're gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But you find what works for you with that guidance.
yeah. But yeah, it seems like, I mean, the antidote that Google is giving me is practice self-soothing. When you feel overwhelmed, take a 20 to 30-minute break to calm down before returning to the discussion. I feel
Yeah,
like that kind of tracks for me.
totally. And that gives it a quantifiable amount of time. So you're not going to bed angry. Like, I need 30 minutes. I need an hour. I need
Yeah.
2 hours. I'm going to go do
Away from
something.
this.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it gives you the circle back of like, while I take this space, I will be returning to this to fix the fracture. Like, I'm not just going to leave it unmended, which I
Hmm.
think is where a lot of damage can be done, if you don't do the circle back.
Do you ever find yourself like psychoanalyzing like your own life? You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like I feel like I would be like, I don't know, like I feel like Chris would hate it if I was like, well, you're stonewalling me.
I'm feeling defensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that's such a good question. I guess I'm going to answer a question you didn't ask, which is like other people often ask, are you
Mm,
analyzing me? And
Mm.
I'll tell you, for me, I can't speak for other clinicians. For me, 100% no. Like if I'm
yeah.
not working, I'm not working. Just like
Yeah.
people,
Like
who make
anyone.
slide decks aren't making slide decks on their free time.
Yeah.
I can naturally like pick up tendencies and stuff, but I'm not, if I have a conversation with somebody, I'm not like forming a diagnosis in my head. I can't. Like it's
Yeah.
not the same thing. It's not apples to apples. Myself, hmm. I do feel like I have a decent pulse on like I can feel when things are coming up. Like if I'm feeling anxious, I'm able to kind of clock it early. It's the same thing like mechanics still need to get their tires changed. Like doctors can
Hmm.
get rashes. Like stuff can come up for me, but I feel like I have a handle on things that work for me to mitigate that. Like I know things that make me feel better. I love to cook. I love to read. I love like moving my body. So it's cliche, but like having a pretty full toolbox, I think helps me
Hmm.
get ahead of anything that I see coming up for myself.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a good point about like kind of separating it. Like when you're at work, you're at work. And I mean, a therapy conversation is an extremely different setting than like talking to someone at a wedding or something. Like,
Exactly. I was
um,
purposefully kind of silent, not that I have a platform of any kind, but silent on that woman on TikTok who was like in love with her therapist or said her therapist was in love with her.
Oh, I missed that.
oh, yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
it
see
was a
that.
big saga, and therapists were coming on TikTok and chiming in, being like, I'm not giving my opinion on this because I'm not her therapist. Like
Right.
I don't see her in a clinical setting. I can't tell you like quote what she has. It's so
Yeah.
different when it's not a client therapist relationship. It's inappropriate to be like it's unethical for me to be going around giving people diagnoses who aren't my clients.
Yeah. What about like, I mean, kind of to flip it, but maybe not really, but like with parenting,
Mm,
like
Mm.
I feel like that's a big thing for millennial parents is like a lot of us weren't brought up to like learning a lot about mental health. So it's
mhm.
like
Totally.
sometimes it feels like it's like overkill. Like on Sesame Street, they're like always talking about taking deep breaths and stuff, which I'm like, oh, this is great. But like, I guess like, I don't know, how do you approach parenting in a healthy way and like teach your kids about
Yes.
mental health and emotions?
Yes, we're big on modeling. And I wouldn't even say it's like a conscious choice. Like it's not like Mike and I had a conversation and we're like, we're going to model. I just feel like it happens naturally. Like all feelings are real, all feelings are valid. And if we can be, as parents, open and honest about our feelings, then we can show that that's okay and normal to do. Like, I'm so happy to see you. I tripped and I hurt my toe and it makes me sad. Like just throwing feeling labels into normal conversation in
Hmm.
front of the kids. Then you hear them saying like, "Oh, I can't do this right now. I'm overwhelmed." It's like, "Thank you for sharing how you were
Oh.
feeling." Like as I feel like similar to the circle back in the couples fracture. Like if you can bookend it with an antidote. Like, I'm feeling overwhelmed by all of the choices we have in front of us right now. I'm going to move some of them so I can see our options more clearly. Like,
Hmm.
here's a feeling I'm having, and it's creating unrest. How and what can I do about it? What can I
Right.
do about it, and how can I do something about it? Um, we are big on mindfulness too, without necessarily like we don't call it that. We're deep breathing. We're doing like smelling the flowers, blowing out the bubbles to try to get the deep breath without necessarily saying like we're going to sit in a circle and do deep breathing.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
being age appropriately aware of your feelings and kind of labeling them.
That's true.
And I can see why that would be so important to make a kid feel validated in their feelings just by even saying something like, that makes total sense that you would feel scared. Like if I was in that situation, I would feel that too.
Yeah. And I catch myself like the other day, something happened and Claire looked to me like she was crying and she looked upset, like visibly upset. And instead of saying to her, "Are you sad?" or "What's making you sad?" I stopped myself because I'm still learning and practicing too. I mean, we're all new at this. I said, "Oh, hi, Claire, how are you feeling?" Like instead of putting the label of sad
Mm,
on her, I asked her how she was feeling. She was sad, but instead of me telling her or putting that idea in her head, I wanted her to use like quote feeling words to tell me herself how she was feeling. Maybe she was angry and
I love
I
that.
cry when I'm angry, so maybe she was
Yeah.
angry. But
So
she was
simple.
yeah, but it's something I'm working on. Like I need to be conscious about it too and not just kind of like rushing to the feeling or describing it for them.
Yeah.
So it's something I practice too.
Yeah. That's very cool. It's so crazy how kids literally will just like wake up and be sad. Like ki they're
Mm.
just like adults. It validates like how you feel as an adult because like sometimes Connor will just wake up and like be sad or like be in a
Yeah.
bad
Really?
mood for like no reason. And it's frustrating because I'm like, what's wrong? Like how can I help
Yeah.
you? Like I want to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can't and they're just like sad and then the next day they're happy. Like it's crazy how like they're like little humans. I mean, they are
They
little
are.
humans,
And I
but
feel like
like
they're almost, it's kind of a beautiful thing. Like they are not conditioned to hide
yeah.
that. Like if you, Brittany, you, Kristen, me, wake up sad, it's like we carry on. If kids wake up sad,
Yeah.
they're like, I'm sad, so I'm gonna be sad. Like I'm gonna show you that I'm sad. They don't know that we've been kind of conditioned to like not share that. So if
Yeah.
we can change that narrative early. It's like, oh, you're sad today. Can you tell me why you're sad? And of course, like you said, if there's no reason, then it's hard.
I say this all the time, but like obviously you don't want your kids throwing tantrums, but there's a part of me that would just love to be a 2 or 3 year old. And if it's like, if I'm pissed, I would love just to like kick my feet and scream and just like be pissed. That would be just so liberating.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like the zoo is closed and you're devastated. It's like,
Yeah.
I want the zoo is a very fun place. I want to
Yeah.
go too. I'm just as upset.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
My
it's so
dreams are
real.
crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's nice that and the flip side of that, Brit, he's comfortable around you to be that sad. I know
Yeah.
in the moment it's tough, but it's like he's having a hard time for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes
They
that
just it's
happens
a
to all
roller
of us.
coaster of emotions. It's just
Mm-hmm.
so innate to humans, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, what about like kind of on this note? I know you have a pretty big TikTok following. And I love your little what is it? It's called Grounds for Good, the
Oh, I'm
coffee
having so much
segment.
fun with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
grounds for growth. It's a
Oh, Grounds for
very
Growth.
beneficial or selfish series that I'm doing because I get a really good latte every Friday.
Love that.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, I figure, like the digital age of therapy, it's if
Mm,
I can make, again, it's not like I'm counseling people on the internet, but if you can give quick mental health tips or like validation or reassurance to people who might not have access to traditional therapy, why
hmm.
not?
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that's less intimidating too, because some people still have like that stigma of, oh, I'm gonna go to therapy, it's gonna be this whole thing, and I'm nervous, whatever. But like just like I was watching the one of I think the most recent one you did today, and your tip was like, go outside and like think of like 5 colors. Like I need to see
Mm,
5 pink things before I can go back inside. And it just like gets you out of your brain and like out of your mental health. And it's like good to do with kids. Like just
yep.
little things like that are so easy.
Yeah, quick.
I love
Quick.
that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's helpful for me too. Like thinking of the content to put out is a reminder to me to do those things too. Like when I did
Right.
the color walk tip, I was like, I should go on a color walk. Like that sounds fun. And it's good reminders for me too.
Yeah.
Another thing like that, that I do a lot is, well, because they say like if you're anxious, you're thinking about things that are happening in the future. And if you're depressed, you're like ruminating on things that happened in the past. So if you're really trying to be present, just to tune into your five senses. So I did this a lot when I was traveling. And then, even now, like if I go down to the beach, I'll literally just have that thought where I'm like, okay, what are my five senses? Like, what am I smelling? Am I smelling like the salt air? What am I feeling? Am I feeling the sun on me? What am I hearing? Is it cars? Is it, conversation? Is it the waves? Um, tasting and seeing. So it's like if you can really tune in and like label the things that you're seeing, it helps kind of get you out of your, all your anxious thoughts or whatever, and just really be present in the moment. And so I'm curious if there's anything else that, you can recommend to people to kind of help them with that, just in their day-to-day, quick tips or things that they can do and practice to increase their overall well-being.
Yeah, I love that question. I feel like, who am I to tell you? If I tell you you should make sourdough bread every single day, like, it doesn't hit for you. So my recommendation is to find your thing and do it in a small dose every day, no matter what that looks like. Like, if you are a runner, if somebody told me get outside and go for a run every day, you'll feel better, like, that wouldn't work for me. I'm not a runner.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Mhm.
find what your niche is. Maybe it's reading. Read 10 pages a day. If you're having a hard time, read 5 pages a day
Mhm.
until can increase the capacity. Do your thing in like a micro dose each day. And if it works, increase the duration.
Mhm.
If it's accessible, like if you are a sourdough baker, you're not going to do that maybe you are, but you're probably not going to do that every single day. So what scratches the same itch for you, and do that?
Mhm.
Does that just mean you enjoy baking? Can you bake
Mhm.
something small, every other day? Something that's accessible so you set yourself up for success and you're not disappointed when you're not able to do your self-care. That's like such the opposite of what we want to be happening.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I also read an article recently and it was just saying like also like doing your thing, but being like, oh, I'm reading this book. This is so nice. Like, or like
Yeah.
going on a walk and being like, oh, the air feels so nice. Like and just be like acknowledging that like even though these things just like the positivity you get in your life, like, it doesn't need to be like a vacation. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like this big thing or like this big event. Like just being
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I'm appreciating that the sun is shining down on me today. And like
Yeah.
even just like reminding your brain of that and I'm like, well, that's
And
pretty
it can
simple. I
be
could do that.
hard for people to remember to do that or be motivated to do that. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why that would work or wouldn't work for people, but that is so accessible. Like, you don't need to buy anything. You don't need to go anywhere to do something like that. So that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I do think that's an interesting point, though, to bring it back to like, you do have to figure out what works for you. We had a similar conversation when we were talking about exercise for the longest time. Like, I just was discouraged or felt like I wasn't good at exercise because I didn't like to go to spin. And that was the exercise that like everyone in my world was doing. But that's not true. You just have to find out what works for you. And it's like, for me, I know journaling in the past 3 or 4 years has become such an important part of my life. Like, I love to journal, but I like to write. So, it's something that I do every day, but I know that that wouldn't work for everybody. Or like if, for me, it's like meditation. I know that there's so many benefits to meditating, but I just have never been able to like really get there. And then it almost makes you feel bad about yourself. So it is just so important to find what works for you.
I love that question because I've like you can ask people and you find out that they enjoy like rollerblading. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I would have never suggested like you should rollerblade. So you
Yeah.
find what like journaling. I've desperately tried, Kristen, desperately tried. And I just like my brain goes faster than my hand. So
Mm.
Hmm.
I don't enjoy it. I wish I could, but it's not for me. But if like some people do it every single day and it's their outlet. So
Hmm.
it is kind of a disappointing answer to your question. Like if you're looking for tips, and it's a very therapist answer to say like, what are your tips? Like
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah.
find what works for you and do it in small doses and give yourself the time to do it. If you're in a relationship where there is like supervision of children, your significant other can give you the time to take, what you need to get yourself feeling like your best self.
And isn't that such the human condition just to be like, what's the one tip that's going to make us like all better? Like, what's like
Yeah.
the what,
Yeah.
like,
Tell
Tell me
us.
exactly what to do.
I will say something that I do believe in. It's not obviously my theory, but that habit stacking, I think that's such an
What's that? I don't know
incredible,
what that is.
like doing things. Kristen, we might have talked about it at the wedding too. It's like doing things that you can do at the same time. So, like if you are doing the dishes, can you run a load of laundry at the same time? Can you listen to the Snitchin podcast while you're doing the dishes?
Oh, I do
Can you
that.
do
I do
two
that.
things
I
at
read and
once?
walk. It's the best.
Do you have a stick?
No.
I'd get motion sick, I feel.
I have to make the font on my Kindle big, but
Mm. That's
um
you're already doing it then, Britt. That is habit
yeah.
stacking.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
You got to pay attention to that one. Okay, yeah, we talked a little bit about this, but like the in terms of like the therapy in the digital age, I feel like a thing I've been seeing a lot is like these like is it AI therapy or like an app
Yes.
that you can do that like you get all your therapy in the app. Like I know Headspace has one now. Um,
Yeah.
it's an AI therapist, I'm pretty sure.
So they're two different things. There are digital platforms for therapy like BetterHelp or things like that where
Hmm.
you're talking to a human therapist. And then I'm seeing people using like ChatGPT as their
Yeah,
therapist, like completely AI, not even human voice, just like texting ChatGPT looking for support.
that's a little scary.
It is scary and it's understandable. Like I'm glad people are looking for supplemental support, especially if therapy isn't something that they can access right now. But where I struggle with it is these are obviously like advanced technologies. They can do wild things. They're still not human. And
Yeah.
I practice personally from a very relational standpoint, like so much, in my opinion, so much healing is done through relationships, including the therapist and client relationship.
Hmm.
So when that human to human interaction with clinical training and trauma informed training is lost and it's human to robot, you're missing and doing yourself a big disservice, a scary
Yeah.
disservice sometimes, to be using those. So when I hear that people are using AI or like ChatGPT for their therapy, what I hear kind of underneath that is that that's someone looking for help. Like they are
Yeah.
seeking help out in a way that makes sense or is accessible to them at the time. My explicitly strong recommendation would be to do yourself a favor and keep therapy human to human.
I saw a really interesting, or I heard a really interesting story about this on the daily. There was someone who was using ChatGPT, and one of the things that they were mentioning was that ChatGPT is a tool that's designed to keep you using it, like any of these apps. Like they want to keep you engaged and keeping you using ChatGPT. So it's almost pre-programmed to be a little bit of a compliment machine and something that's going to boost your ego based on what you're inputting into it. And there was this guy who was really insecure about his smarts. He never graduated high school. He started asking Chat GPT about the equation of pi, 3.14. And next thing you know, like Chat GPT is telling him, wow, you're asking so many great questions. Cut to like several months later, he has been led to believe that he's this like mathematical genius. And so that was one of the things that they warned against was, you know, um, that it's there designed to kind of boost your ego. And one of the things that I know that you've said in one of your TikToks, Laura, that's always stuck with me is like sometimes you are the problem and you need to have a therapist that's going to be objective and let you know that because, sometimes it's you.
And do so much work like that TikTok is saying, if you're the problem, then you have the opportunity to fix it. Like that, it's a powerful spot to be in to be the problem because then you can also be the fixer. So
Hmm.
ChatGPT, I don't feel like while it's very advanced, it can't give you what human to human therapy can give you, like real deep, meaningful work. It can give you like a quick hit of a tip or like a suggestion, but it's not clinically based or clinically trained. So much, it's scary. It is.
What about like through COVID? Like, do you do most of your stuff now virtual?
Yeah. So I have a full-time IRL job that is more resource connection based, not clinical counseling. And then I do counseling part-time. And my full-time job is in person, and my counseling job is 100% virtual.
Yeah. Do you feel like since pre and post COVID, or like even since you started, like there's way more demand, or like people? I feel like people's attitude just toward therapy has definitely changed in the last
Mhm.
5 years.
For sure.
It's, I feel like we are in a gift of a time. Like therapy is cool.
Yes.
Mm,
People are normalizing it, talking about it. Like if you don't go to therapy, why not? Like
yeah. It
it's
helps literally
awesome.
everyone. It
And
helps
I feel like
everyone. I've always said that.
I give a lot of credit to younger people because they're they're working it into their conversations like it's going to the gym. Like, oh, I can't hang out tonight. I have therapy. It's like, oh, so do
Yeah.
I. Do you see
Yeah.
Sarah Jane? Oh, me too. Like it's such a
Yeah.
normal conversation, and we can learn a lot from young people, but that definitely is it's cool now to go to therapy. So I feel like it's a win for therapists and it's a win for people who get the support too.
I
It's
feel like
cool
when
to
we
be
were
a Swiftie
younger,
too.
it all
Cool to
comes.
be a Swiftie, cool to be a therapist.
It's cool to be a Swifty therapist.
Oh my God,
Very
double
cool.
whammy.
Welcome to 2025.
Can you imagine if in session I'm like, what era do you most identify with? Like you're kind of giving reputation.
Yeah, you're in a dark place if it's rep.
Let's get you to lover.
It's so true though. If someone was in therapy when we were younger, it was like, oh, they're in therapy. What's wrong with them? And now it's like it's encouraged and that's amazing. But what happened? What about if you have someone in your life that you see or you're worried about, think that they might be struggling? Like any tips for how to connect them to therapy or how to broach the conversation? What do you do in that situation?
Yeah, definitely. It's such an important question. Generally, for the sake of time and just keeping it general, any change in somebody's baseline behavior, so how you know that person to be typically, any change in that over a significant amount of time, what I mean by that is like 2+ weeks of consistent change. That's change in either direction. If somebody you know and love is a couch potato and they've always been a couch potato, and all of a sudden they have this wild jolt of energy and
Hmm.
they're throwing themselves into
That's
a
a good
million
point.
activities and being really involved, that's still considered a change in their behavior.
Right.
And then kind of the one that is most common or most talked about is like somebody who is engaged and starts to pull back, and withdraw and disengage from things and become more to themselves. Any change in that behavior over that significant amount of time could have so many, reasons behind it. Maybe they're going through something or whatever, but it's still worth a conversation that you've noticed it. And having that conversation can be hard and intimidating and overwhelming. We're so conditioned to you walk by somebody, hey, how are you? Good, you, and you just keep walking.
Yeah.
But what
Totally.
do you do if someone says like, "Oh, actually, do you have a minute?"
Yeah. 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 I'd be
Yes.
like, no, I
Yes.
gotta go.
That's a
So
great
if you
point.
can get ahead of that, my recommendation is always it's very elementary, but it's effective. The I statements. Like instead of saying, you've pulled back or you seem different, you
Oh.
can say something like, I have missed you.
Mm.
I want to be spending
Oh.
time with you. Is anything going on for you that's making it so we're not spending as much time together?
Hmm.
None of that is blaming or accusatory. It's owning your perspective in the dynamic and saying what you miss or what you've noticed without saying like you're doing this, and that can throw people on the defensive pretty quickly. But if
Hmm.
you say, I've missed our time together, how can I help you so we can spend more time together? Is anything going on for you? You might get a closed door and they say, nope, I'm good. But if something is going on and you're the one who asked about it, they might come to you when they're ready to talk about it versus someone who's never asked them if they're okay.
True. True.
That's a good way to introduce it too, because I think it's really easy to fall into the trap of thinking like, okay, if you see someone that goes from being really productive to not being productive, like that's something that's easy to flag. But the opposite way, it's you can easily think like, oh, this person, is doing so well. So definitely like a good way to frame that.
Mm-hmm. The over under kind of mindset. Like if somebody is overeating, oversleeping,
Hmm.
over drinking, or if they're not under drinking, but if they're under eating, under sleeping, like if you have a pulse on the people you care about and their tendencies, and you start to notice a shift to go over or a shift to go under, it's worth a conversation. It's always worth a conversation. The worst thing someone can say to you is like, buzz off. I don't want to talk about it.
I need someone to tell me to buzz off.
I don't know what I can say on the pod, but
Oh,
depending
we're
on who you
explicit.
are, it might be a little more colorful. But yeah, you can be met with a million different things. But if and when that person's ever ready to talk about it and you're the only person who ever asked, I'm putting money on you're the person they're going to go to.
And it's better than not saying anything.
It is always better than not saying anything, 100% of the time. It's vulnerable and it's uncomfortable to have
Yeah.
conversations like that. But if you do it in your language and the way that you talk to each other, like Brittany, I don't imagine you'd ever go up to Kristen and say, like, I'm feeling that you're feeling like it, you talk
Yeah.
in your dynamic, like you make it work
Right.
how it works for you, depending on who you're talking to.
So interesting. You're so smart, Laura.
Oh,
No, Laura, literally.
we're all smart in human nature, you know?
I love that though, because yeah, it's so no one's going to respond well if you're accusing them of anything. So just like bringing it inward with the I statements, like that's a great tip.
Yeah. I mean, think about it like personally. If someone came up to me and said like you're this, you're that, I'm not going to say what I'm feeling. I'm going to immediately put a wall, I'm going to stonewall and I'm going to say,
Stonewall or stand
yeah,
up.
I'm going
It's
to
my new
go
term.
to horseman number 4 and say like I don't like that doesn't feel like a safe place for me to say, how I'm feeling. If someone
Yeah.
says I've missed this or I've noticed that you've been XYZ. It's like, oh, they care. Like I'm seen. That person sees my tendencies and that they have changed.
Oh my God, Laura, this has been so great. You like need to come on our snitch sessions every Friday. Like we need you.
I am
Yeah.
always down to snitch.
This was so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
I know
Flew
this
by.
was a blast. I miss you guys. I want to like hug you through my screen.
I
I
know.
know.
Thank you to everyone who has listened to this episode. We hope that you have taken something away from Laura and her advice. We know we have.
And make sure to like us, follow us, comment at us, tell everyone you know about us on social. We're at Snitch and Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, thanks, Laura. Have a great
Thank
day,
you guys
everyone.
so much.
This was great. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.